Welcome back, everybody, to the Anti-Stall Racing IMSA series. It's round 3 of season 12, and we're back at the Temple of Speed, Monza in Italy. GT3 qualifying has just gotten underway. We're about 50 seconds into the session. We're halfway through outlaps. Mattia Ubertali is second to the front of the pack. That's who we're watching now. Adam Jarvis is going to be first driver to set a lap time, just coming through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 now. Going to be an interesting session. You can see it's slightly damper around the outside of a track. I don't believe we're expecting any more rain throughout the rest of the day, but it was raining at the beginning of practice. Dried up very quickly in terms of we didn't get any more rain, but the track did not dry up very quickly. It's still slightly damp offline, you can see. That's going to make this qualifying session interesting. I think everybody that's out there will be on dry tyres. We'll put that up on screen for you just to confirm once the timing tower comes on that they are all on dries, but it's very dry on the racing line, as you can see. But we've got a spinner in the background. I'm not sure who that was. I believe that was Stanley Deboo, and that was probably caused by catching a little bit of that wet patch, maybe a wet curb through the Ascari chicane. So that is going to be a dangerous bit of a track. Everybody is on slicks, says the race director to me. So we don't need that little graphic to come up. So we'll talk you through this first lap. Adam Jarvis, you want to be super aggressive on the brakes into here. Until you get to the apex, it's actually a very straight braking zone, which really, really helps to avoid lockups. And in a GT3, avoids to help you hitting that ABS. So now, coming through Curva Grande, Adam Jarvis, we're going to go on board. That's not a great angle, is it? We'll find you a better one. There we go. Jarvis now up towards the chicane. Heavy on the brakes. You want to cut a lot of curb here, especially in the BMW. You can take the curb so well. Brody, you've driven the BMW, joined by Brody, GTP driver, by the way. He's going to be taking part in the next session. But you know, Brody, in this BMW, you can absolutely hammer those curbs.
Yeah, he's basically like a train sometimes. It just feels like it's on rails, just keeps going and going, no matter what you give it. Feeling the session though earlier in practice, I think there's still going to be quite a challenge for drivers, because obviously we came in to start a practice, it was soaking wet, almost rivers in places, but as practice obviously got on, the rain died down and the line became greasy, and then towards the end of practice it did definitely get sort of more suitable for dry tyres. So it'd be interesting to see what drivers do this early part.
Yeah, I think, like we said, the vast majority of people are out on dries. I think everybody is out on dries. So, but I think we will see people maybe getting a little bit more adventurous to their lines. You can see Adam here staying very tight through Parabolica on that dry line. No one venturing out too far. There's a lot of time to be gained if you can sort of push track limits a little bit through that section. So I think that is going to be a talking point. Adam Jarvis then sets the first time of the day. So 150.5. Obviously, a lot of times to come in this session. Nick Kirstens is going strong, as is the new driver for this week, Mark Hagale. Nick Kirstens across the line, goes to the top of GT3 AM, which is the top overall. And we're going to get you into Class Set 1. There we go, GT3. 2025, Adam Jarvis now down to 4th, with Donny Duval going quick as Michael van der Ben slots in P6, Jose Maria Espinosa into P3. I'm trying to find who's going quick for you so we can put them up on screen. One of those going quick was Alessandro Vinosi, who's had a bit of an off. Here it is. Oh, you saw, got on a bit of a wet patch and then upset the car, as did his teammate in front. Wow, both of them in one. So let's go back. So this is... Oh, this was the Aston Martin having a similar problem, I think. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, caught that wet patch, same wet patch that we saw someone on the outlap catch, and then we saw Vinosi catch as well. So really, really proving to be a difficult section of the racetrack there. Taking several cars. I think that's going to be a talking point throughout this session and maybe even going into the race as well, especially when you're following someone trying to find a little bit of a different line. That is potentially going to be a problem.
Definitely so. I mean, with these conditions as well, there is only one line. Is that a Lamborghini in the background? Just having a bit of an off. But yeah, even so, like when you mentioned before about Adam Jarvis taking the tightest line possible, Let's have a look at this.
Just a
Slightly
brief off
wide.
track there, yeah, just slightly wide, not what I was expecting that to be.
But yeah, Adam Jarvis. Oh, go on.
That's all right. I think we're going to get a repeat, a similar thing, but it goes a bit more wrong for the Mercedes.
Just going back, Adam Jarvis taking the tightest line coming out of the parabolica. You've still got to be very careful with those white lines, because as dry as the line, well, the racing line's going to be, them white lines are still going to be very, very slippery, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, it's never going to be perfect when you've had this much rain. I think that's why we're seeing problems, like you say, on the white lines, on the curbs. People are going to have moments.
Especially in those low speed corners as well, like we're just seeing through. I always get the Lesmo's Degners.
Lesmo 1 and 2, where we've just seen the spins. Yeah,
it's Degners at Suzuka. Yeah, the lowest sort of speed corners around this track, you'll probably see still a lot of puddles. Probably come towards the end of the hypercar qualifying session. That's definitely something to watch out for.
Carlos Bowes are getting a little bit more adventurous, but it is on a straight. It's a little bit harder to lose it, just trying to cut that distance to the start finish, and it works well. 6 tenths nearly clear of Nick Kirsten's.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we saw last season, though, when we had LMP2, Carlos Bowes, a player, just absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, I mean, in that LMP2 basically dominated the whole thing. I think lost 1 win to Sebastian, and that was it. So, he was pretty quick all season, and I think we're going to see the same in the GT3.
Definitely so. But one driver who's surprised me this season so far is Melvin Gack. He's really has found some pace coming into this season.
Yeah, pace from Melvin's been really, really impressive. He was fighting pretty much. Well, I think he had a drive-through penalty last week and still finished second and only a couple of seconds off the leader in GT3 AM, and at one point fighting for the overall podium in GT3. So mega, mega impressive. Nick Kirstens goes back to the top 2.5 tenths clear of Poya as Adam Jarvis gets within touching distance of those top 2. Michael Vander goes up to P5. Nicoli Monti going well, and that moves him from P15 up to P6, now P7, as Pablo Alvarez goes up to P4, followed by Juan Carlos Martin into P5.
You see the trend already that we're seeing. The front-engined GT3s normally have a higher top speed, generally down straights, and we can definitely see that. Obviously, Monza being a high-speed track, you're on throttle for most of the lap. You can see BMW, Aston, Mercedes.
Interestingly as well, Carlos going rapid, as is Melvin Gack just goes up to P2. 8 tenths clear at the top now for Poya, but he's running on his own. There's maybe a car about a couple of seconds in front of him and then no one behind him for miles. And we've got another pack. I'm just going to throw the track map up for you. So you can see Poya, the P1 car's just come out of the chicane, and we'll change out so that shows car numbers for you, and then you can compare it to the timing tower if you want to. But you can see that big train we've got all the way from car number 84 down to car number 10. And it is, oh, we've got a spin in the background for the Mercedes as we cut to live images, well held. You can just see this pack going for the more traditional Monza line of wanting a nice big toe. And that's working for Donny Duval, who purple in sector 1, but then a couple of yellows throughout the twisty a bit of the track, but it was that toe enough down the start finish straight and towards the chicane, the second chicane, sorry, just checking on something on our timing tower there, the second chicane, enough to move him further up the timing tower. No, that lap was invalidated actually, unfortunately, but there is a couple of shuffles further ahead, including Pablo Alvarez, who goes up to P4. He's now side by side with his teammate. Trying to work out who that is, and he's trying to get, I think that's the 10 car. No, 10 car is behind them. Someone pulling off onto the grass there as well. Very chaotic session with 10 minutes into this, what I believe is 14 minutes, Brody, correct me if I'm wrong. 14-minute session in GT3.
Thereabouts. I'm just thinking, in these conditions, do you really want to be in the traditional Monza qualifying train?
I don't know, because it's really not working, is it? If you compare them to Poya, who's running on his own and is just sort of flying, really.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if you've got to follow a car, yes, it's great you're getting the slipstream, but with the current conditions, when there's only really one dry line, if you're trying to sort of gauge where you are, gauge your braking points, your apexes, that car in front makes a mistake, there's nowhere else for you to go, really, apart from the wet stuff.
Kirsten's with a solid N2. That last lap gets him a little bit closer to Poya, but it's still not enough. Poya just so good in that first sector, second sector as well. Very, very impressive. Palche Rodriguez pulls over. I think that's going to be session done for them. Poya is still flying. It's a purple sector 1. It's a yellow sector 2 and 3, but still pretty close to the overall best times in sector 2 and 3, so don't discount this lap for a bigger improvement at the top. There's lots of green at the timing tower though. Francesco Petalin about to come to the line in the Lamborghini for Absolute Motorsport Asif Racing, which is a home race for this team, I believe. Comes across the line, goes all the way up to P3. Big improvement there.
Very good, that.
And that was no purples, that was just greens pretty much across the board. The nosy goes up to P2. The Lamborghini's coming good at the end of the session.
It's really speaking now that the track's really drying out.
You can see that line getting wider and wider, that dry bit of the track. See a little bit of spray still coming off these cars, but Ubatali now trying to match his teammates. Coming through, you can see getting more adventurous as well through Parabolica, taking a wider line. That'll allow you to carry a lot more speed onto the start-finish straight. And cuts to shorten the run to the line, as we've seen many people do. Moves up to P16. Adam Jarvis moves up to P5 at the end of the session. We've got green flag in GCP, so go for it, Brady. I don't want to hold you any longer. All right, we've got that green flag in GTP. Just trying to work out who's first out of pit lane. It was the 61, Stefan van der Velde. Many races in an ASL, but already learning that you queue up at the end of the pit lane in GTP, even if there's no performance advantage to it. It's just the way we roll. It's got to be done. Tradition at this point, you'd have to say. In a very Genesis, I must say, looking livery. I don't even know if that is a Genesis livery. But very much similar colours to what's going to be on the Genesis Hypercar, I believe in 2027 in the World Endurance Championship. Unless, Andy, if you're listening, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's 2026 instead. And I've already had a message. Said, bruh. Don't know what that was referring to. Maybe because I kept Brody for too long. Who knows? Oh, a GT spun across pit entry. I did not see that, and I gotta find it. Yeah. No, it's not this. I don't have that spin. Feel free to tell me who it was, Andy. Right, starting the first flying lap, Stefan van der Velde, but don't read too much into these flyers, because as we say every week when Alice is here, it takes a lap or two to get some temperature into these tyres. They're a lot better than they used to be. Velde impeding by the car that just came out of the pit lane, I believe. Mark Hagel, qualified P3, was a driver who spun at the end of the session. I believe it was probably this spin. Oh, onto the wet stuff, spins across pit entry and collects a couple of cars in the process. What race control think of that one? Didac Vallardo, quick in sector 1. A couple of cars ahead of him, so it's a potentially relatively quick sector. But the usual caveat of none of this really matters because we've got a couple of laps of getting temperature into these tyres, especially in these wetter conditions. I think we'll see these cars fueled up for potentially the full session. We normally see a couple of guys do that. I think there'll be more of them doing that than usual, just to make sure that they can get towards the end of the session and keep that tyre temperature. It's going to take a little bit longer to build tyre temperature than it normally does. Well, that was great. Focus on exciting cameras. You ask iRacing and it shows you cars in the pit lane. Stefan van der Velde first across the line. 1:36.2 is the benchmark. Fabio Ciambella gets a little bit closer. Davide Acceto gets even closer in the Ferraris. Italian Ferraris. I think they're going to go well here today. I'm going to get Stefan's full name to show on screen for you as well. Just proving more difficult than you would imagine. Pit lane start for the impeding on pit exit. That's car number 98 that's getting a penalty for that. Timmy Nilsson. So a couple of laps in this session and we'll be starting from the pit lane. Stefan going even stronger this lap, as you would expect with the tyre temperature being up. There we go, we've managed to get the full name on there for Stefan. Didac Vallarde though goes to the top, 35.011, and the times are flying in. We've got most of our pack around one half of the lap. Albert Preem's going strong. We cut to Albert. Didac Vallarde's had a little bit of an off as well, but that is just a slowdown at the first chicane. I think he's just gone straight on. It's 61. That's who we thought it was for that impeding instance, so we don't need to go and look at that. Saw it live. What can Albert do? Normally quick in the Anstall Racing IMSA series, very experienced in the Anstall Racing IMSA series, potentially one of our most experienced drivers when it comes to knowing the rules, the regulations, the little tricks that work in the length sessions, the open qualifying sessions that we run. What can Albert do to the line? Lots of greens. It's going to be a big boost up the board, and it is up to P3. Cadillacs occupy the top 4 at the moment. Brody Maynard in P4, the AM driver, highest placed AM driver. Brody was really quick in practice here. He was really quick at Monza a couple of seasons ago as well, so don't count him out being properly competitive today. Daniel Renek has had a bit of a slowdown, but I believe it's going off. This is what happened to Didac Vallarde. Whoa! Cut out by the braking car in front and goes straight on, cutting across. I don't know if race control are going to look at that. We'll have a little bit of a look, but it looked like both on a fast lap, and it's a spin for Davide Acceto right out of the first chicane. To the Della Roger chicane, Davide Acceto on that recovery lap. We'll see what he can do next time round. Brian Mutter in the AM class, a 921 Porsche. Looking to improve from P10. It was a yellow sector 1, but a green sector 2 and a green sector 3. Keep an eye on Stefano Giovanni as well, who's going very well in sector 2. 2 times quicker than the fastest sector 2 so far. Not a great sector 1, but not a poor one either. A good sector 3 as well, so keep an eye on that. Quinton Verdonk looking quick as well as he gets towards the end of the lap. Let's see what Quinton can do. Dutch Ferrari. Over line for the 2:04, and that lap was invalidated. That lap would have been quick enough for P7. It was invalidated, like we said. Stefano Giovanni making his shortest run to the line behind his 2 teammates, running in a pack. These guys goes to P2, so close to getting in amongst the leader. Obviously P2 still in amongst the leader, but not quite enough to go ahead, just half a temp shy. Albert Preem looking strong, currently P5, like we said, quick earlier in the session, and is racked up green after green after green this lap, with sector 4 and 5 left to go. Brady Maynard improves, stays P5, but found a bit of time on that last lap, and there'll be more to come. Albert Preem yellow in sector 4, unfortunately, but still way to go and gets pushing the limits there, a lot further wide. We saw in GT3, I think there was even a little bit of oversteer there, so that might have damaged slightly the end of that lap. Still improves though, up to P5, a 1:35.227, so close. Top 6 all within a quarter of a second of each other, and I will say to Preem, that blue, metallic blue on that livery looks absolutely gorgeous. Improvement for Mutter again, green after green after green after green, 35.944 so far this session. Two-minute warning for GTP checker flag. You can see that clock clicking down in the top left of your screen. Mutter improves on that last lap. Preem's across the line, improved as well, but it does not improve the position of the 48 Porsche in that Lotus-esque livery. Purple sector 1 for Quinton Verdonk, and it's a purple sector 2 for Stefan van der Velde, who's trying to get back ahead of Didac Fajardo, who's stolen pole in the number 8 Cadillac. It's Caddy v Caddy for pole, with a couple of Ferraris trying to pick up the pieces behind and potentially sneak their way onto the front row. Stefan with a solid sector 3 as well, really pushing the limits there, a lot more than we were able to at the start of the session. Stefan purple in sector 4 as well. Just this run through Parabolica to go to Davide. Aceto's had an off behind, so this lap won't mean anything for Davide. But what can Stefan do across the line? It's another purple. Surely that's good enough for pole. It is good enough for pole. 3 temps clear of Didac Fajardo. Puts Stefan onto the front row. What can Quinton Verdonk do to try and challenge at his purple, yellow, green, green, green? Goes to P2 in the Ferrari. And that's it for Stefan van der Velde. He's in the pit lane. There will be no further improvements. What can some of these other guys do behind? Didac Fajardo's got a lot of yellow on this lap. 1 green now. Alessio Lusignoli goes purple though in sector 4. Didac Fajardo goes purple in sector 5. Improves back up to P2. Alessandro Lusignoli out of nowhere goes up to the front row, and it's not just the front row, it's pole position ahead of Stefan van der Velde. It's Ferrari on pole at the moment. We've got no time left in this session. This will be it. Last laps across the line for the drivers. The 83 Brody Maynard next across the line. No improvement on that lap, unfortunately for Brody. It will be P8, but it is the fastest of the AM drivers that we have in today's session. Pete Preem pulls over as well. The 51 is going to be next to the line. That's Albert Preem looking to find some time. Was quick earlier on, but he's 3 yellows and a green. Can there be a purple or a green to finish off this lap? No, it's a yellow, but is it enough to move up the order? Yes, it is. Up to P5. Must have been a mega sector 4 to Albert Preem to go up to P5. 204 of Quinton Verdonk is going to be next. It's yellow, green, yellow. Quinton was quick earlier on. Can he move back up onto the front row where he was a few moments ago? Alessio Lusignoli is going quick again behind, but that fastest sector 3 has been taken away by Stefano Giovanni, and Davide Aceto has just set the fastest sector 2 as well. So Quinton Verdonk moves up to P3. 58 is next across the line, but we're going to keep an eye on Stefano Giovanni. The 58 Ciambella goes up to P4. What can Giovanni do? Giovannini, sorry, I'm going to keep getting that wrong. But Giovannini to the line. Is quick, but is followed by a lot of not quick. Alessio Lusignoli goes quicker at the front. Giovanni goes up to P2. What a mega sector 3. It was yellow the rest of the lap, but it was enough to go to the front. Davide Aceto not finishing off the lap strong. Despite that fastest sector will only be P9. And Mazadan in P10 at the end of that session. And that is it for cars on track. Alessio Lusignoli takes pole. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Stefano Giovannini in P2. Stefan van der Velde in P3. Ahead of Quinton Verdonk, Ciambella, Vallardo, Preem, Maynard, Aceto. All within a second of each other in that session. What a qualifying session that was. Absolutely brilliant. And we will be back in just a second.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today.
All right, just a word from our partner there, Premier Racing Setups. Head over there for all of your setup needs, and we'll be nominating a Hard Luck Award in this session. But it might be me, because this is not supporting, so I'm trying to do about 4 different jobs all at the same time while keeping you guys entertained. Right, we're into warm-up now. I'm going to see if I can get my grid to show up for you. Last week. Seeing a grid on screen, guys. Maybe I have to click this one. Seeing a grid. Maybe we have to wait until we're in the race session. So, what we will do instead is run you through overall qualifying. Alessio Lusignoli will start from pole position ahead of Stefano Giovannini, then Stefan van der Velde, Quinton Verdonk, Ciambella in P5, Vallardo P6, Preem in P7, Maynard in P8. I believe Maynard the highest qualified AM driver. Could be wrong, but I believe that's what he was when I last checked. Aceto in P9 and Mazadan, as he's nicknamed. Say that because I do not want to try and butcher that. In P10, that's your top 10 in GTP. Then Pete Preens in P11, Brian Mutter in P12, and then Oscar Tringale P13, and Daniel Renek in P4, struggling to get a clean lap in. Carlos Bozapoya in P15 on pole position in GT3 ahead of Nick Kirstens, Mark Hagale, Alessandro Venozzi, Francesco Petalin, Adam Jarvis in P20 overall. Then Stanley Debut, Melvin Gack, Alvarez, Espinosa, Palcho Rodriguez, Monty, Van der Ven, Donny Deval, Felix Manzanedo, his first race in the series, I believe, ahead of Juan Martin in 30.
Sorry,
Clicking the
dat
button.
was iets te laat op het rennetje.
Matteo Ubertali in P31, Rafael Venteo in P32, then Picardi, Bolkstein, Ramet, Barton, Pena, Opdendries, Soyez round out your field, and Timmy Nilsson in P40, who did not set a lap time, I believe is starting from the pit lane, and then Ben Gravel P41. Not being interrupted yet by Andy, and I'm getting slightly suspicious that something is going on. You there, Andy? He's listening. Just being joined by Matteo in the stewarding booth. Race on our hands here between the Asaliv cars in warm-up. Getting busy out on track. And he's just muted himself in Discord. I think it's coming.
Right, as your weekly reminder, the race does not start on the green flag. You'll both start free and the car. The race will start when your class leader accelerates within the start zone as indicated in our briefing notes. And we ask the pole sitter to run the pit limiter for the extra parabolica until you go in the start zone. And I can't think of what the other one is. So I will just leave you with a wish of a happy race, and I hope you enjoy.
He's out of practice, guys. He's out of practice. He's had a week where he didn't do it because we had a week off, and then the week before Amy did it, and then it was a week off. So it's been like 4 weeks since he last did that. Pointing Andy, come on, let's get the act together. Lap time's coming in up front, and we're going to go to class set 2, get ready for our race start. We go to interval, leave car numbers and logos on there for now, I think. 30 seconds to go before we start to grid. Getting a little bit of a taster of the slipstream fest that we're potentially about to see, and that's the GT3 Aston Martin off in the background there. I believe that was Jose Maria Espinosa. Let's just see how easy it is. Catch the wrong bit of the curb and settled over that first curve, still slightly damp a little bit there, and I think that's what brought the Aston Martin out, although the Aston Martin is built like a tank and that car was probably completely fine. Right, we're getting ready to grid. Alessio Lusignoli will start from pole position, as we've already covered, ahead of Stefano Giovannini. We're going to go class set 2 for this race start. Because we've had this several races now. With lots of AM cars mixed in amongst all of the pro cars, like Nick Kirsten's second on the GT3 grid, front row in GT3, AM driver. So it wouldn't be fair to them to not show her overall position on the board. So we're gonna.
I'm behind the GT3. Should I stay there or should I overtake them?
Mistake from race director there setting up the grid.
Yes, overtake, I think. GT3, if you could try and move to the outside of the track so that there's a space in the middle for Ben to go through, please.
Grid as one is an option. We'll get that sorted out for next race. We're rolling in GTP. Lucignoli leads the field at his home race for the Italian team in the Italian car. This is going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. Put flags up on the screen. I bet that is an option. No. Flag. Go. Indeed, put flag up on the screen. The car logos. Really got caught. I'm just being blind. I knew that thing was already highlighted. Right, we're getting ready to roll here, finally. Run down the straight. I believe Ben Groneveld has overtaken all the GT3, so we're going to get a nice clean start. We've got one car in the pit lane. Timmy Nilsson for that impeding on pit lane exit when he came out the pit lane and not on a flying lap. Alessio Lucignoli will roll from pole position. We'll have that pit limiter on as per the race director's instructions. The field is going to bunch up and we're getting ready to go green. Dinoli leaves it till the end of the start zone, releases the limiter and sends it down the straight. It was a good start for Stefan van der Velde. He's alongside for second place. Racing down into turn one, it's the outside line for Giovannini. Stefan van der Velde gets the inside line, gets the move done into turn one. All fairly tidy through turn one in GTP. Surprisingly, we're still racing though, and it's such a big pack. We've got so many cars on the grid today, 16 of these guys all racing with each other. Any action into the chicane? No, it's all fairly well behaved once again. We're going to go to GT3 because they're about to go green, and Carlos Bozapoy's made a good getaway, but they're side by side behind. Aston on the inside, can he do anything? Nick Kirsten's in the BMW, the AM driver trying to keep that P2 overall. We want to fight for a podium overall given the qualifying pace that he had, so that's going to be very interesting to see. Again, no one off in turn one in Monza. What a miracle. GTP and GT3 making it through there cleanly. Very surprising to see, if I don't dare to say so, and it's probably going to get worse, knock on wood. Nick Kirsten's looking to challenge the Aston Martin, still ahead. We've got a proper pack race. In the back, and we've got flying over the curbs there. I'm not sure who that was. But that was a bit chaotic. We've got a bunched up pack here at the back. Stefano Giovannini still trying to stay on the back in GTP. We're going to keep an eye on the timing tower for those GTP cars. Got a proper pack here. Melvin Gatt bumping the car in front as we go racing towards the Ascari chicane. Can Melvin get the move done on the Aston Martin? Side by side through here is brave. And somehow they make it through. No, they don't. Melvin's caught by the Mercedes behind and sent into a spin. Can he keep it out of the barrier? Yes, he can. I think he'll probably have gotten away without that, without most of the damage. It was 4 wide behind. Down the straight on the run into Parabolica. This is going to end so badly, surely. They've settled it out a little bit, but we're still 2 by 2. Into Parabolica. What does that mean? There was contact with the BMW and the Lamborghini, and I think everyone has made it through. We've got some cars off spinners in the Parabolica, and that's forcing people out wide on the water. Is that going to cause more spins? Everyone seems to have survived, apart from the original car that was spinning. Nick Kirsten's gotten caught up in it. Nick with already significant damage there. So what happened to Alessandro Vannozzi here? We're going to see how that all kicked off. I think it's just going to... spin in front for Kirsten's. Vannozzi spins in reaction and then gets collected behind. A couple of cars caught up in that, unfortunately. Sam Barton side by side with Yorick Ramey. Teammates here. Aston trying to get it back with that damage. Pulls off to the side. Mega lap for Lucignoli out front, who stretches that gap to 1.4 seconds. Albert Preem and Quinton Verdonk. This is a battle we've seen many a time throughout the 12 seasons of the IMSA series. And these two still going at it strong in this session. This is where the slipstream is going to play in very well. We've got a couple of GT3 stragglers already in with this battle as well, so keep an eye on them. Preem looking for a gap. The strong brakes in the Cadillac going to help put some serious pressure on. Felix Manzanedo trying to get a move done on Michael van der Ven ahead. Oh, great run through Parabolica there. Picks up the power really well in the Aston Martin. Is going to get alongside going on to the start-finish straight. Aston v Aston. This is a traction race because Felix got the power down a little bit earlier and was able to carry that speed all the way down the straight. We'll have the inside line for the chicane. Can he get the move confirmed? Yes, he can. Slots ahead of Michael van der Ven. And we've now got a proper little train being created by this little battle. And that's going to play even better. Mattia Ubertali, currently P10 overall. Up 3 places from that start position. Fan with a great lap there from Stefan van der Velde. Look, quarter of a second out of Lucignoli. Dan and Pete Preen's going at it here. Maynard on the radio, I'm not sure what that was about. Our contact between Maynard and Aceto. Take a look what happened to these guys. Aceto behind there, Maynard defending. Aceto straight into the back of Maynard, who goes across some chicane to keep it pointed in a straight line. And this battle's still going on. We're going to stay with this actually. It's going to get spicy. Idak Fardu briefly off. Just running a little bit wide there. Oh yeah, still stretching that lead out front in GT3. Really putting the pressure on here. I think there's going to be an opportunity potentially even into turn 1. Ferrari seems to have good straight line speed though, maybe running a little bit skinnier on wing. Ciambella puts the fastest lap of the race in P6. He's behind these two getting a nice tow, you would imagine. Battle here in GT3, Michael van der Ven in the Mercedes trying to stay ahead, and he's lost 2 or 3 places now, I think, in that little battle. In the Aston, sorry, it's an Aston, not a Mercedes. A long bonnet catching me out there. Under pressure again now. Oh, we've got a position swap up front. 3 of them battling here now. Preem momentarily ahead. Can he stay ahead? The GT3 is coming into play now. All of the pack, GT3 and GTP, all within about a straight of each other. Oh, and we got onto the grass ahead to try and squeeze past the traffic. Van der Velde has lost out to Giovannini in all of this as well. We're going to have to go back and watch some of this replay to work out how all of this has happened. It's too much going on for us to watch it all at once. Quinton's not going to give this one up. He's really applying the pressure once again to Preem down the start-finish. He's got a great run. He's gaining very quickly here. Pulls to the outside, try and get the move done on the brakes. And we've got all this pack ahead, and this is not going to end well, surely. They've just got to pray that they get lucky with where the gap opens up in the GT3 pack side by side. Great move from Verdonk. He's managed to stay alongside, potentially creep ahead a little bit. The inside line helping out. Oh, and there was nearly contact there past the GT3s as they try and thread the needle through the pack. Such great racing here from these cars. Verdonk piling the pressure on, still on Preem. Is the Lamborghini going to split them up? Yes, it is, and that's going to put Verdonk under pressure from behind now. That was a full lap of racing for position there between the GTPs. Great to see. Brody Maynard losing out a little bit in the pack there. Ciambella and Aceto now ahead. Still leads the AM drivers now, but Pete Preen's direct competition is directly behind him. Ciambella on the back of Verdonk. This was the original move, how Albert got ahead. Oh, half spin and full spin for the Mercedes ahead. Caused Verdonk to have to lift off, and that's why he lost so much speed down this straight and nearly got passed by both of those cars. And this is how Giovannini got up to P2. Just a great exit versus the car ahead, and they're either side of the traffic and having to run in the water. Cost Stefan van der Velde a lot of speed there down the down the back straight. Proper racing here, and the hypercars are going to come into play surely. We're side by side in GT3, and we're 3 wide going into the chicane. Somehow they all make it through, and Pena gains a place as Ubertali loses a couple in that battle. Pena now racing with Palcho Rodriguez as Picardi, as Manzedo has pulled away a little bit thanks to that. There's too much going on, I don't even know who's who. The hypercar's coming through now. It's proper pack racing. It's great to see. Jambella still looking to threaten Verdonk. He's lost touch with the car ahead and therefore will have lost the toe. Can Jambella get anything done on the brakes? Shows and nods to the car in front, but it's not going to do the job. Didac Fallardo on the back of Mazadan as well. Slow ahead for Stefan van der Velde, who goes a little bit wide trying to pass that GT3, and that's cost him an awful lot of time because Giovannini is now back on him. Oh no, Alessandro Vannozzi has crashed. What's happened to Vannozzi? No contact yet. I'm not sure what this one's going to be. Oh, off on the gravel. And pulls over to go to the pit lane. Very odd. Oh. Alive in that case. Apologies everyone for all that. Got a race on here. Stefan van der Velde defending from Giovannini, and it's going to be tight battling into turn 1. Crucially for Giovannini, he's managed to get to the inside. Is there even a little bit of bumping there? This is bringing Albert Preem right into play for the podium. Oh, and there's squabbling ahead, and Giovannini is shuffled out wide. Preem takes advantage of that and is now going to sit in the toe of the car in front, and in fact he's going to get past the car in front somehow. Did Van der Velde lift off then, thinking he was letting Giovannini back through? I'm not sure what happened there. Lost an awful lot of speed. And the top 6, well, third down to 6th, all within just over a second of each other now, which was not something I was expecting to say on lap 9, 13 minutes into this race. And Albert Preem with a mega drive so far this race, up 5 positions. Stefan van der Velde having to defend from Giovannini now. Giovannini with a good exit as well from the Ascari chicane. Wipers on, probably just a little bit of spray coming off some of these curves. Lucignoli though, with all this squabbling and pumping in fast laps, is 8 seconds clear at the front. He can do whatever he wants with strategy. As he keeps it on the road, there's a great chance of a win here. This is the move for Giovannini, goes to the outside. Not ever quite ahead, I think there was more contact then. And that's going to put Giovannini now under threat from Ciambella behind. big pack fight here once again in GT3. Oh, contact under braking! And the concertina effect nearly causes a huge crash there. Somehow these guys all surviving. Juan Carlos Martin trying to stay ahead of his teammate Rafael Venteo. Drive-through penalty for 44, unsafe rejoin and not holding the brakes. Who is 44? Alessandro Venosi. From when he pulled off potentially, and we've got a battle here once again. Van der Velde trying to stay ahead of Giovannini. Ciambella trying to pick up the pieces and get his way onto the podium. And now Quinton Verdonk right on the back of these guys as well. This is allowing Preem to escape a little bit up the road as well. Hoyer puts in another fastest lap in GT3. Still can't find a way by all over the back though of Stefan van der Velde. Giovannini all over the back of Van der Velde. I think this may be the opportunity to finally get through and get a good tow. He's going to... Oh, Van der Velde doesn't fall for that one again. Doesn't allow him to get round to the outside. To the inside, sorry. There's no way through that time by either. More GT3 traffic for these guys. Ciambella dropped off the back of these two a little bit now. Nelson's just past Daniel Renek. See how he did that. Onto the brakes, into the second chicane. Lucignoli, I don't believe, has had a penalty as far as I'm aware. What's happened to Stefan though, who's off at Parabolica. And he's coming into the pit lane for their first pit stop of the race, as is Lucignoli from the lead.
Incident, Stefano.
Van der Velde reporting that incident, so let's take a look at what happened. Oh, he's already off in the barrier there, wow. Oh, big contact into Parabolica. Was what put the car in the wall. We'll see what race control think of that one. was a little bit of overlap potential, so potentially race control will think that that was how it is. I can't see a penalty for Lucignoli. I'm going to try and double check, but I can't see anything in the race logs. I think he's all good. Albert Preem leads due to the early pit stop with Lucignoli. Well, not early, on strategy, you would say, but sometimes people go a little bit longer before they do that first pit stop. Timing board is going all over the place at the moment. We've just had a load of cars all come into the pit lane, but now is where we get to see where Lucignoli comes out relative to these guys, and he's cleared them all, as you may expect. Albert Preem on pit exit now. Lucignoli retains that advantage that he had, that very big lead early on. Stefan van der Velde then comes out a long way back from the people he was racing, having to crawl to the pit lane to be able to use the fast repair. I don't think there's anybody with a time penalty from what I can see, so I'm just trying to work that out. If there are any time penalties that come through, we will let you know. Melvin Gack has just passed Yorick Ramet, sorry. And that is now a 5-second time penalty for somebody that now doesn't show up. Because I think me and Race Control aren't synced, is the problem. Race Control are listening, could you send us a list of penalties so far this race? Brody Maynard has just been black flagged. I'm not sure what that's for. Got it while entering the pit lane. Oh no, Brody. Speeding or potentially unsafe pit entry. Brody, who joined us in the commentary box. Not what we would like to see. Davide Occhetto's got a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Brody Maynard. I think that's the only one that Andy has sent me through so far. It's typing. Albert Preem, slow, briefly. Has a 5-second advantage over Ciambella. That contact has spread them out even more, and Albert Preem is going to be loving this. 10 seconds behind the leader, but 5 seconds clear. 3 to 44 drive-through, but we knew that they've disconnected. We've got a spinning GT3. Who was that? There's too much going on. My race log's moving too quickly. That was Felix Mazaneda, who spins. Is avoided, luckily, by the BMW. Maynard's now cleared that black flag, but has dropped into the back of the hypercar field. Felipe Peña Gonzalez trying to chase down Mattia Ubertali ahead. Didac Vallardo passes Davide Occhetto. Carlos Wezapoy asking for this lap to be checked. These two really going at it now. Occhetto trying to get back past as they come down the start-finish straight in the tow of Giovannini ahead. Occhetto goes back out of the tow. His teammate comes to give him the tow. not enough to get alongside or ahead into the braking zone. Stefan van der Velde is just behind his battle on his recovery drive. Jack and Bolkestein going at it a little bit further back. Contact in the second chicane. Gak still ahead of Bolkestein. I believe Gak has a slowdown, but that is now served. Going to be side by side again. Giovannini trying to get past Fajardo. Can he get it done this time? They're going to go side by side into the Sky Chicane. That's not going to end well. Both of them are off. Fajardo loses out. And Giovannini surely going to lose out to his teammate, who both get a bit of a slide on. That's going to let Stefan van der Velde in the background as well get past Didac Fajardo, I believe. So trying to gain one place and loses two, unfortunately. Going to get a race down to start finish, I believe. Giovannini trying to get past ahead, and there's a spinner. Albert Preem. Sorry, Quinten Verdonk has had a spin there, I believe. Yeah, what's happened to Quinten? I think it's just going to be all on his own. Oh, on the water, on the curb. Goes for a big old spin, and wow, doesn't hit the wall. Doesn't hit anything. Wow. Quinten Verdonk will be very lucky after that. Getting into a nice little battle here. 2 and a bit seconds, 5 cars. Giovannini trying to defend against Fajardo, and Aceto trying to attack on Van der Velde ahead. Gaining down the straight for Aceto. Do a speed increase, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Get significantly alongside. Felix Manzanedo trying to get past Diego Palcio Rodriguez ahead. Bolkestein still fighting out Melvin Gap, but Melvin seemingly pulling away a small bit now. Onto that water. Caught out a few laps ago. Tony Davalo's got past Nicoli Monti. It's going to be on the brakes into turn 1. A very satisfying move. Oh, a little bit of contact. Big bit of contact as they squirrel their way into the braking zone. Tony Davalo ahead. Wonder if race control will have a look at that. Carlos Bozapoya has been off from the lead. He has come back on track. I think only briefly off track. The tree's getting away. Oh, and yeah, just a very, very brief off track there. In all of that, Manzanedo got past Rodriguez, and the wrong replay because I think it's moving around too quickly. Here we go. Here's the overtake. Another one into turn 1 on the brakes. Nearly before they even start braking, the move is done for Manzanedo. Jens Soyers has been off and has crashed apparently. The Aston Martin that you've seen there, the red, green, black. Oh, big swapper over the curbs. Avoids a wall. Teo Vitali's also been off briefly, and it's going to be the same thing we've seen several times. And Rafael Bento potentially in for a similar one, but at the second Lasmo this time. onto the gravel, keeps it pointed in a straight line. That's all that really matters. Timmy Nilsson and Daniel Renek still going at it all these laps later. Ciambella starting to close up to Albert Preem. Keep an eye on that gap. It was a little bit bigger just after the pit cycle. Now down to 2.3 seconds. Who's leading the overall standings? Let me pull up that table for you and we can go through them. It's a good idea. We've not covered the standings so far. We had a sort of slightly spread out start to the year. A moment for Timmy Nilsson in the pursuit of Daniel Renek. Sends him wide. GTP standings been led by Oscar Tringale, who we've not really spoken about too much today because it's not been a great race for Tringale, despite being a home race for himself and the team. Runs down in P12, unfortunately. Ben Ciambella is currently P2 overall, ahead of Aceto, Lucignoli, Verdonk, Van der Velde, Giovannini, Preem, Fiardo, and Martin Yoon. And that has reminded me, I believe actually Andy's already updated that. Fine. Ignore me. Brody Maynard leads in AM, ahead of Peter Preens, Daniel Mazedan, Ben Groneveld, Brian Mootzer, Timmy Nilsson, Daniel Renek. Your top 7 in GTP AM. Big points to be scored today in AM. Especially some big swings with Brody Maynard having that pit lane penalty. Fiardo and Aceto still going at it once again. Fiardo ahead this time in their joint pursuit of Stefan van der Velde, who's done a great recovery drive despite that big incident. Is now back up to P4. Juan Carlos Martin trying to get the move done on Luca Picardi ahead. Who as well is trying to threaten the car ahead of him, which is Felipe Peña. GT3 Pro led by Poyet and Francis McGinn on equal points. Francis McGinn, I don't believe, present today, so that's going to go away with Poyet after this round. Alessandro Vinozzi P3, Petlin P4, Manzanedo P5, The Boo P6, Vitali P7, Martin P8, Jarvis in 9th place in the standing, ahead of Alvarez, Bolkstein, Fernandez, Hagale, Monti, Espinosa, Diefenbach and Kameldar. And then AM classified cars are led by Gak, then Van der Ven, Kirschens, Rodriguez, Optendries who are top 5 in AM. Albert Preem under serious threat now. We saw that gap was coming down. Ciambella, with the momentum that he's carried, is surely going to be able to get this move done. Backs off a little bit towards the end of the lap, but the overall momentum is clearly there for this car. Bella getting close, just trying to work out where Preem's strong, where he's weak, where the advantage is. The traffic influencing this one potentially a little bit. Tringale and Verdonk having a little battle down the field. Timing tower glitch, actually. Chambella's getting closer to that move and is alongside in Parabolica. Potentially some extra momentum for Preem to try and defend as he is now starting to inch back ahead. But is it going to be enough to get it done on the brakes because it's inside for Chambella? Oh, and there's contact under braking and Preem is not going to give this one up. There's a lot of contact there under braking. I don't know if Preem will be onto race control for that one. Fajardo and Van der Velde still going at it. I think Van der Velde determined to at least keep this position where it is now. Bolstein and Gak, a battle for the ages today, is still going on. And Gak is going to lose another position surely here. Manzanedo trying to slot through as well. It's 3 in 1 for Melvin Gak, but the wrong way around, unfortunately. Shuffled to the back of this order, although can he stay ahead of 1? Yes, he can. Stays ahead of the Aston Martin of Manzanedo. Gak, though, driving really well this season, like Maynard pointed out earlier in our session. It's been very impressive. Another battle for today that we've seen repeated many a time. Timmy Nilsson once again all over the back of Daniel Renek. This battle is going to carry on till the end of the session. I think the only Acura that we've got in the field for Timmy Nilsson, so nice to see that car back out. It's not the Acura Cup anymore at Anti-Store Racing, but it's nice to see at least one of them still going. Van der Velde defends against Fajardo, who's trying to find a way around the outside and clatters over the curb. They both go off over the curb. That's going to be a slowdown for both cars. Ocheto behind will not have a slowdown. And can he get past both of them? Yes, he can. Of course he can. 2 places in 1 for Ocheto, and he didn't even have to get it done on the brakes in turn 1. These two are going to battle it out once the slowdown's clear. Whose slowdown clears quicker? We'll get to see. Fajardo's is cleared. Van der Velde's is also now cleared. These two could go back at it again. Clears the GT3, and Fajardo tries to stick his nose at the inside of who I believe is his teammate. Doesn't go too well, but does get through. This is Yannick Ramet passing Sam Barton, who'd gone off wide at the exit of Ascari. This little bit of water around the curve, around the edge of the tracks, is making it for a great race here at the Temple of Speed. Fajardo now with the momentum from behind, still battling out with Van der Velde, but Van der Velde will now have the tow from Ocheto ahead to help him defend. Ryan Mutter and Oscar Tringale battling it out again. Timmy Nilsson using the traffic to advantage to get ahead. Oh no, what's happened to... I think there's been contact has there for Van der Velde, who's dropping down the order. Yeah, straight on. What has happened to Stefan Van der Velde? Oh, Tito Fajardo into the back of Van der Velde under braking. Both of them finding the barrier. That is under investigation by race control, perhaps unsurprisingly. See what race control think about that one. Felipe Pena on Nicole Monti here still. Just to let you know, Luca Picardi, Rafael Vento and Felix Manzado is your AM podium at the moment from what I can see in GT3. Bolstein not happy with a move that was just pulled off there. Lucignoli into the pits for the final stop of the race. Has just gone and split this one into 3 20-minute stints, and it's working for our race leader. These two, despite the crash less than a lap ago, still within 2.5 tenths of each other, still battling it out. Gallardo comes into the pit lane, as does a lot of our lead pack.
Was it Lesmo 2 you were talking about?
Juan Carlos Martin looking for a move on Luca Picardi ahead. Picardi goes defensive.
Yes,
ECP on the outside. Is that going to offset him through this second part of the chicane? I think it might do, and I think that's going to give Juan Carlos Martin a better exit than him. But is it a better enough to try and get a move done? It is not. This is how you love GT3 racing. 3 Thames, is it close enough to get the move? It's basically a mile with these guys. Oh, gets great under braking though in the Mercedes. Manzado still looking for the move on Bolstein ahead. Picardi is a couple of cars up the road in the next AM car, which is crucial to remember for this little battle. Preem and Chambella both now into the pit lane. Davide Aceto, you would assume, is going to be in this time by. Stays out for one more. Van der Velde running slow. Are they out of fuel? Have they gone one lap too long, potentially? I think Van der Velde has run out of fuel. Wow, that is a big miscalculation to have made in this session. That is going to cost him a lot of positions, unfortunately. Chambella, by the way. Only 1 second off the back of Lucignoli. Not sure quite how that's happened. I'm trying to see how long they were in the pit lane for. Only 2 seconds slower in the pit lane from what I can see for Lucignoli.
It's on the 4X we just ruled a racing incident was for the 4X where you basically didn't touch each other in the second chicane. We haven't decided on the one for turn 1 yet.
Manzanado has crashed. Was it in that pursuit? They've offset on pit stops, and it's not a big crash. It's just into the gravel, pushing to try and get it done on alternate cycles.
Sorry, Peter.
I'm not sure what happened there. Clicked the wrong button, I think. Aceto now finally into the pit lane. Tringale still going on. I'll work out when Tringale did first pit stop. 23 minutes, so we'll be in shortly. Obviously burning a lot of fuel here at Monza. We've got a lot of wide open throttle sections. Gallardo and Preen's going at it. I think Preen's 1 pit stop less than Gallardo. Gallardo ahead into the chicane. Brian Mutter And Mazadan battling it out as well. Freddie Maynard in for his final stop of the race. Donny Duval and Nicole Monti going at it. Monti 9th in Pro, Donny Duval leading AM, but I believe actually is on pit cycle, so yeah, you're leader in AM here. You get past another Pro car. Freddie Maynard goes straight on at the first chicane after coming out of the pit lane. And is now just behind Stefan van der Velde, who had a long pit lane time, I think, repairing the damage from the contact that unfortunately having used that fast repair for the earlier crash at Parabolica. But Chambella's got a real opportunity here to press Vicar ahead. Pace is there, fastest lap of the race by 2 tenths. Was about 3 tenths quicker on the last lap, but he's lost out slightly in this first sector. We'll see if he can keep the pressure on. Try and take the win away from his teammate. Potential for an absolute motorsport Asalif 1-2-3 here if Davide Aceto can start to take some time out of Albert Priem, but it would need to be heaps of time. Van der Ven putting pressure on Sam Barton ahead. Really putting pressure on. Wow, impressive to be staying that close and spins on the exit, and that's why it's impressive to stay that close through the Ascari chicane, and it cost him. That tanky Aston Martin might have been able to take that hit though. Donk moving slow, not sure what that's about. That's now a slow down penalty in this battle with Fiardo and Nilsson. Cleared that slowdown penalty. I think it's going to give Nilsson a much better exit, and is taking time out of him on the run into a sky.
Andy, please check the dive bomb in turn 1.
Monty not happy with one of the moves that was pulled off. Palcio Rodriguez on the back of Venteo here is going to try and get a move done surely into the second chicane. And he's going to get it done surely on the brace. AMG versus AMG, and gets ahead. Coley Monti, Donny Duval and Juan Carlos Martin, all within a few car lengths of each other, and don't count out Luca Picardi, a couple of spots behind as well. Luca Picardi will be seeing my class leader, car number 40, Donny Duval, ahead of these guys, and thinking, come on lads, I'm fighting this guy for the overall win. You two are fighting for P8 and P9. With all due respect, I want to fight him, can I just go please? But neither of them are going to want to give up any time. His teammate might try and help him out a little bit here. They're going to be 3 wide almost down the start finish, just avoid that. Oh, Hypercar squeezes through on the outside, nearly loses it in the rain, and there's contact.
Please check, unsafe pit exit, come on.
Freddie Maynard trying to slot through this gap now as well. So Luca Picardi's cleared one of them. It's his teammate ahead, but his teammate who's fighting the car directly behind Picardi, so he's not going to want to back himself up into his rival. Ciambella, rapid by the way, at last lap took out a second from Lucignoli. And Tringale absolutely rapid as well at this stage, and Decetto, the Ferraris for Absolute Motorsport Asalif coming alive in this final stage of a race, so keep your eye on them. A gap now opened up a little bit so far this lap, but I think there's some places in the track where Ciambella's quicker, some places where Lucignoli's quicker. I'm going to see it come alive. I think there's Lucignoli seems very good in that middle sector. Ciambella quick in the final couple, so we'll see if that gap comes back down. Timmy Nilsson, Quinton Verdonk going at it again. The Acura's got a great exit here, great straight line speed. There's a Labs car in front, trying to get out of the way, kicking up a load of spray. I think probably caught Quinton a little bit off guard there, but that's let Timmy Nilsson get through. The Acura, the lone Acura up to P9. Race lead now about a second. We've got a lapped car in front now. This is probably more likely to hurt Ciambella. And clear him by the time he gets to the chicane, but it looks like he will do. There's more traffic ahead. This is going to get really interesting, and this is going to really hold up Lucignoli and put Ciambella right into striking position. Two teammates need to be careful that they don't open themselves up to a risk of a collision and give the win away to Albert Preem. Whoa, onto the grass for both of our leaders, trying to not lose out any time in the traffic, and that was risky stuff from Lucignoli and Ciambella. They know what they're fighting for. It's a home win. Lost out there, though, for Ciambella in that exchange with the Porsche. Tony Duval has been off. I think. I'm not quite sure how or where, because they're still leading. Can't have been too bad. I think it might have been this. Whoa! Straight on at the chicane after a little bit of contact. Car 61 has been given a 10-second time penalty. Find out who Car 61 is for you. Stefan van der Velde has been given a time penalty. It's already well down the order, so it won't affect too much. Pete Preen's trying to clear the traffic as quick as possible with Didac Fallardo behind him. Ciambella now closing in again. Van der Velde has just been black flagged.
What happened with the guy behind me after the first game? Is he trying to kill me?
Picked up another 4X.
We'll have a look.
Thank you.
Freddie Maynard has crashed as well, apparently. Not sure what this one is.
Is it steering wheel broke?
Steering wheel broken. Unfortunately, left one of our drivers, so it wasn't an intentional attempt to murder another car. Maynard just goes straight on the brake. That's a bit cheap. Juan Carlos Martin has passed Nicole Monti. Is it done on the brakes into Lesmo 1? And the lead down to 2/10, and Ciambella sticks it up the inside, and it goes wrong! Just like we said it would. Both of the cars off into the runoff. Was it into the barrier for one of them? I'm not sure. No, they're both rolling again. But the lead now down to 3 seconds for two of them from the next car behind, and they're still going at it, but Albert Preem will see that and think, go on lads, do it again. Well, we kind of knew that was coming, didn't we? Let's take another look at it from the chopper camera. Ciambella sensed an opportunity. He's been strong in Parabolica all day. Saw a gap, got it up the inside, went a little bit deep on the water potentially, and hit his teammate. Fortunately for them, neither of them hitting the barrier, so probably able to carry on with minimal damage. Preen's ahead of Nilsson, both of them behind Fallardo. Verdonk behind them. We've got a 4-car little battle going here for P8 and P7. Yeah, it exactly was a Barcelona 2016 moment there. Donk looking to get the move done side by side with Timmy Nilsson. After he had to back out in the traffic a few laps ago, but can't get it done into Lesmo 2 and slots back in behind. Will try and stick in that toe to try and get back past. Ciambella is now right on the back of Lucignoli again, so we'll keep an eye on where those two are. Melvin Gack up into the lead in GT3 AM. This is how he did it to get past Mark Hagale. Sorry, this is getting past his teammates, who's already cleared Luca Picardi, which is here.
Sorry for the incident. Got damage.
Oh, we were clicked on the right one, I think. It's up into the lead, Melvin Gack. Nice recovery drive once again from Melvin, who's really showing the pace this season. One of the most impressive drivers. Still going at it though, it's not done for Melvin Gack. Oh, Picardi trying to come back, gets a little bit aggressive, finds the water. Gap has started to stretch out a bit between Ciambella, but Preem is bringing them both towards him at the moment. Picardi once again on the back of Gack. Oh, gets his nose in the first chicane, but has to back out of it. Not enough overlap to get that move done. Three cars battling for one position again. It's Mazadan behind Quinton Verdonk, behind Timmy Nilsson. Oh, and Dan has to back out of it. Euro Bolkstein has passed Mark Hagale. Oh, on the brakes into Parabolic. We've seen this go wrong twice, and it goes wrong-ish the third time. I thought we were going to get away with it then. But no, a little bit of contact, both cars getting mostly away with it, but I think that might go to race control. These three still going at it. Timmy Nilsson leads his pack in the battle for 9th, 10th and 11th, but really this is the battle for P2. Quinton Verdonk just in the middle of it, but the two AM cars either side of it battling for P2 in class. And Pete Preens. I think we're on white flag, by the way. There's been so much going on. I've not even been looking at the clock. Lucignoli, I believe, will be on the final lap of the race, with just 6 seconds to go. Is in Lesmo 2. These two just bringing it home now. Wish the same could be said for this lot. Still battling out to the end of the race, which we love to see. Absolute great racing. In great racing from the whole field all day today as well. Non-stop action. The Anstor Racing IMSA Series. If you want to get involved in the Anstor Racing IMSA Series, head over to our Discord or our website. You can grab your entry there or ask any questions that you want to. Freddie Maynard getting moved on 7 Van der Velde. He gets caught up with a GT3 behind, and there was contact there.
And the check rejoin, lap 36, Parabolica.
And he checked. Brody asked for it to be checked straight away. 7 Van der Velde's picked up a meatball from that, unfortunately. And Alessio Lucignoli wins the race. Ciambella comes home in P2. Preem P3. Aceto P4. Giovannini in P5. Tringale P6. 5 Italians in the top 6, all in a Ferrari. It wouldn't be Monza without that. Monty gets back ahead of Gak. Gak stays alongside. This has gone wrong before. Gak loses out. And that's going to put Picardi all over Gak as well. So Gak needs to be careful here. He knows what he should be fighting for, which is his class win. He doesn't want to lose any positions, but his class win is what's important. That's the BMW that he's fighting. And there's contact between the two of them as the BMW muscles his way up the inside. And then Gak tries to switch back again, but I don't think that's going to work. Gak's just lost the lead, I believe, in class to Monty. To Picardi, sorry. Yeah, Picardi will win in GT3 and Poya wins in Pro. Gak comes home in P2. Less than 2 tenths behind the leader. Didac Fiado came home in P7, by the way. He was battling up front for a lot of today and got caught up in a couple of little things. So I think Fiado is going to win the Hard Luck Award, which is presented by our partner, Premier Racing Setups.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today.
Alright, everybody. There are your qualifying results, I believe. Sort it out for you quickly. GT3 Pro results. GTP Pro race results is what we need. Your race was won by Alessio Lucignoli, ahead of Fabio Ciambella, Albert Preem, Davide Aceto, Stefano Giovannini, Oscar Tringale, Didac Fiado in P7, Quinton Verdonk P8, Stefan van der Velde a few laps down in P9, and Pablo Alvarez 8 laps down in P10. And like we said, Didac Fiado was your winner of the Hard Luck Award, fighting up front. Got caught up in a couple of things. GT3 Pro. We'll go to the Pro classes first today. Why not? Was won by Carlos Bozapoya ahead of Francesco Pettel in Stanley Debut, Adam Jarvis, Matteo Ubertali, Juan Martin, Nicole Monti, Felipe Pena, Leroy Bolkstein, Mark Higale, Alessandro Venosi, and Jose Maria Espinosa too far down to be scoring today's round. Luca Picardi wins in GT3 AM ahead of Melvin Gak, Diego Paltier Rodriguez, Rafael Vento, Sam Barton, Donny Duval, Yorick Rame, Michael van der Ven, Jens Soyers, Felix Manzanedo, Nick Kirstens, and Tess Ottendries. And I'm joined now by Luca Picardi. Luca, what a crazy last lap there to take the lead back.
Yeah, I cannot believe it. I'm still shaking. I'm still shaking. This was maybe the craziest race ever happened in 3 seasons in ASR. Wow, what a race! What a race! I had a lot of shame with lapped cars that made me lost the position on Melvin, but then I don't know.
Yeah, we were watching, and I think Melvin was fighting with one of the Pro cars ahead, and then got offline a little bit, and then you just came flying from behind and managed to get alongside on the way into Parabolic.
Yeah,
it was a great move.
I had one shot, and I took it. No matter how finished the race, but I took this shot, and wow.
Yeah, it was absolutely great.
It's my second win in my home race, so I'm very, very happy. and it's the home race even for DSP Sports, so we're happy all together.
Well, congratulations, because that was, I think, probably the move of the race to get that done. And you wouldn't have seen this. There was a couple of other people who attempted overtakes in Parabolica, and it went wrong every time. And that was the first one where both cars came out of it in one piece. So not only did you get the lead, but you both came out of it. So that was great, and great racing.
Yeah, thank you. This is I think today has been a very, very crazy day because I only came on server in qualifying because I was late from going back from university, and in maybe more or less 7 hours I have to take a train to go to Imola to watch the 6 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, you can go there as a IMSA race winner. So there you go.
Yeah, Italian IMSA race winner.
Exactly. There we go. All right. Well, congratulations, Luca. And it's been great to have you join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll run you through the GTP AM race results now. P. Preens won the race, 1.5 seconds ahead of Timmy Nilsson, and Daniel. I'm not going to try and do it again. Kirby can do it great. I can't do it. So Mazadan in P3, Brian Muta in P4, Brody Maynard in P5, Ben Granavel P6, and Daniel Renek 11 laps P7. I don't be scoring points today. So what a crazy race. I still can't even remember everything that went on. So that was pretty insane. Thanks to everyone that joined us. It's been really good. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you want to join us in the future, head over to our website. You can grab an entry. And for everyone that just wants to watch along, which is always great to have you guys with us, we are back next week at Interlagos for what is inevitably going to be another banger. Interlagos and Monza, two of the best tracks for racing on the service. So that is absolutely great. So thanks very much to everyone that joined us. And we'll see you next time.
I don't have the words to tell you that I think